He built his life around many, many homes, many hearts, many forever vows. But now, with only one wife left standing, the man once called the king of plural marriage faces a truth he can't outrun. I didn't have a choice to get out. They all did. From the outside, Kody Brown seemed untouchable, a patriarch, a television icon. But behind the cameras was trauma, and beside him, one woman, Robyn, watching the dream they built begin to crack. Tonight, we dive into the private turmoil, the emotional fallout, and the one decision that could change everything.
Here's to a new house. Yeah.
Because what happens when the model you spent decades mastering collapses, and the only thing left to rebuild is you? And in just minutes, you'll hear the conversation that changed their marriage forever. Part 1. He said the words I'll never forget. From the outside, Kody and Robyn appeared the epitome of stability in the chaotic world of plural marriage. After his 3 other marriages collapsed, this was the one remaining bond. Since 2010, the groundbreaking reality show Sister Wives brought us into the lives of Kody, legally married to his first wife, and spiritually bound to 3 others as he navigated love, faith, and a family defined by 4 wives. But the story behind the scenes is far more complicated. Robyn entered his life in 2010, bringing 3 children from a previous marriage and joining the plural union. From the start, the promise was radical. 4 wives, 1 husband, love stretched across multiple homes. Yet, as the years passed, the cracks began to show. First, the breakdown of plural structure. Over 14 months, Kody's relationships with 3 wives, Christine Brown, Janelle Brown, and Meri Brown, ended. Then came questions. What happens to the original vision? What happens when family dynamics collapse? In exclusive interviews, Kody admitted he once felt like he was in a cult-style marriage environment, and that he had considered walking away from Robyn herself. Robyn, for her part, felt the weight of that moment, the loss of something she believed in, the dreams of family, connection, and love being shaken. But on the surface, they still stood together. A public front of unity, us against the world. Behind closed doors, though, they faced new questions. Are they still the same couple they appeared to be? Has his purpose changed? Has she been left behind? In the season 20 premiere of Sister Wives, the 2 sit for a pivotal conversation. A question looms. Should they try to bring another wife into the picture or finally close this chapter of their life? Kody. I think you and I share something very special. But if it's not duplicatable, it could put us at risk. Robyn. For what purpose? Kody. There's something I want maybe more than you do. Robyn. What? What do you mean? Kody. I don't want to talk about that subject. Robyn. Oh, you're talking about sex. Kody. I'm afraid at this stage in my life, it would be just how good-looking she is. I'm not kidding. Robyn later confesses, he's just kind of being a bit of a pig right now. What does it mean when the foundation of a marriage is shaken by desire, and when the partner you trusted says the love might hinge on looks? That one conversation set off ripples across their world. If you thought the biggest issue was adding another wife, You haven't heard the half of it. Because while they debated duplication of the past, Robyn confronted another truth: the children, the legacy, the estrangement. Robyn told Kody she was losing respect for him, that in failing to fix relationships with his grown children, he was failing them all. He admitted most of his relationships with adult children were strained, trust broken, loyalty split. At this point, the public saw, the facade of unity is crumbling. 2 people, 1 marriage, thousands of teasing details, but underneath, the foundation is shifting. Is the marriage itself the problem, or the man driving it? And if the man is changing, at what point does the woman walk away? Here's the twist. Everyone expected their story to be Kody and Robyn monogamy now, no more plural wives. And yes, that was the public line, that he declared, "I'm done with polygamy." But beneath that declaration lies something far darker. Kody believes the very essence of his relationship with Robyn is his attraction to duplication. He still wants what another woman could bring. And Robyn knows it. Let's be clear, the twist isn't they're splitting. The twist is far more unsettling. Their convincing decision to go monogamous might not stem from love, respect, or mutual growth, but from fear of change, fear of failure, and perhaps fear of losing her if he goes back to what he knows. In admitting his primary motivation is physical attraction, Kody inadvertently exposed a truth Robyn had long toiled to ignore. Robyn, I'm tired of being angry. I'm having a hard time not losing respect for you a little bit. This is the climax. The hero's image shatters. The husband who claimed to love no longer has the purity of motive he thought he did. The wife who held on now must decide, stay for the past or leave for the truth. The fallout was immediate. Fans took to social media. Many sided with Robyn. Some defended Kody. The question on everyone's lips: if attraction, not love, is your foundation, what happens when the look fades? On Reddit, one user wrote, Robyn listens to all the words salad and vomit that comes unfiltered out of his mouth. He is so weak and off balance, always trying to figure out what will please her. On Instagram and YouTube, commenters asked, is Kody emotionally mature enough to be monogamous? Did the plural lifestyle hurt their marriage more than it helped? And for women in America watching this story unfold, there's a mirror here. Are we building our relationships on foundations of mutual respect, shared growth, and emotional honesty, or on looks, convenience, and past successes? If you're watching this and you've ever asked yourself, what am I really building this on? Comment below with yes if you believe long-term love must go beyond attraction, or no if you think attraction alone can sustain a marriage. Part 2. Trauma doesn't always come from what you see. It comes from everything you won't admit. Kody Brown built his public persona around a radical idea: plural marriage, a legal wife, spiritual wives, a sprawling family, cameras capturing every blessed dinner and family prayer. But when 3 of his 4 marriages collapsed within a short span, the foundation cracked, and so did he. By 2021 to 2023, one by one, his unions with Christine, Janelle, and Meri ended. Today, his only remaining wife is Robyn. But this isn't the plural marriage he once envisioned, and neither of them are quite the same. From the outside, a family like no other. 4 wives, 18 children, a reality show that brought polygamy into prime time. Robyn entered the union in 2010, bringing her own children, stepping into a world that most of us can hardly imagine. But living the dream came with hidden cost, the constant balancing of wives, children, homes, expectations, emotional undercurrents that rarely made the edit. When his first 3 marriages crumbled, Kody confronted something deeper, a loss of identity, a loss of purpose. He admitted the plural marriage had been central to his covenant with Robyn, and once the others left, he began to doubt his value. Robyn, meanwhile, faced an unexpected reality. She signed up for plural, and now found herself alone, yet deeply tied to a man changed by loss. What happens when your life plan vanishes, and you still have to show up every day? In a pivotal episode of Sister Wives, Kody opens up, "Because I've been in plural marriage for so long, when we failed at it, I was sabotaging myself." Trauma, he says, isn't just the departures, but the lingering effect of living a marriage model that ended up fractured. Robyn admitted she was heartbroken and now very scared of plural marriage because of what has happened. They face new tensions. Kody wonders if his value to Robyn diminished when his other wives left. Robyn wonders if the man she married is still the man in front of her, or someone haunted by his past. If your partner has carried a lifetime of previous relationships, can you ever be first, or will you always be after? We tend to think of a fresh start as hope. For Kody and Robyn, selling the old home, the one where 3 marriages ended, was meant to be that. It symbolized closing chapters. But what if the fresh start was just a veneer? What if the real challenge was what he still carried inside? The twist arrives when Kody confesses he once considered walking away from Robyn too, not because of another wife, but because of his own self-destruction. He admitted, days when he was so broken, he thought it was unfair to Robyn. Suddenly, the narrative shifts. This isn't just about plural to monogamy. It's about a man confronting his own trauma while keeping someone waiting beside him. The story you think you're watching isn't the one he's really living. Here's the core twist. Kody Brown isn't struggling because he can't pick one wife. He's struggling because he can't pick one version of himself. The plural marriage gave him identity, purpose, and structure. The collapse of that world triggered not just loss of wives, it triggered the loss of that structured self. And now, to make monogamy work, he must reinvent himself, and his marriage with Robyn must adapt to a version neither signed up for. Robyn's fear? That they're chasing a monogamous ideal built on nostalgia and fear, not on emotional renewal. Kody's admission, he might have walked away, signals how deep the strain goes. This isn't a midlife crisis. It's an emotional reckoning. The wife who thought she'd be the center of his world now wonders if he still has one. When this story aired, the reaction was fierce. Fans of the show launched into debate. Some empathize with Kody's trauma and call for compassion. Others say Robyn is stuck in a union defined by someone else's identity. On Reddit, one user wrote, "He's shifting blame. He will never be at fault." Others argue, if the foundation was pluralism, how does he now build a monogamous marriage? These questions echo larger themes, especially for women in America watching this unfold. How do you stand beside someone whose identity is being rebuilt? When do you ask for your own place in that reconstruction? If you've ever been in a relationship where your partner changed after you committed, type "I've grown" in the comments. Then hit like and subscribe to join our next deep dive, Rebuilding Self-Marriage After Trauma. Remember, healing is a journey. Watching someone else wrestle with theirs may help you reflect on your own. Let's deep dive. In full details. Part 3. It was the promise of a lifetime. One man, 4 wives, 18 children, and a public narrative that celebrated love should be multiplied, not divided. And yet, that promise would fracture. Between 2021 and 2023, Kody's 3 wives, Christine, Janelle, and Meri, separated from him. The plural model he held so tightly was unraveling. What happens when the foundation of your identity collapses? Stay with us. For Robyn Brown, who joined this family in 2010 intending to live the plural dream, the world she entered began to shift in ways she never imagined. She later admitted, "She did not ever intend to have him to myself." Kody, meanwhile, confessed something extraordinary. "We made our covenant on the basis of having the other wives." And when the other wives left, he admitted, "I wondered if my value to her had been lowered." Value, identity, abandonment. The quiet terror behind a reality show facade. Let's walk the timeline slowly, frame by frame. 1990. Kody legally marries Meri. 1993, 1994. Spiritual unions with Janelle and Christine. 2010. Robyn enters the fold, bringing her children, and becomes a wife in the plural situm. For years, the family thrives under cameras, captured by millions. But by 2021, Christine announces she is leaving. Then, in quick succession, Janelle and Meri follow. Each departure a tremor, each loss reshaping Kody's inner world. If plural marriage defined him, what happens when that identity evaporates? Legal context loomed too. In 2016, the case Brown v. Booman challenged Utah's polygamy laws, with Kody and his wives as plaintiffs. The drama was real, the stakes legal and emotional. And yet, the cameras kept rolling. The family stayed in the public eye. Behind the scenes, the healing had not begun. The law couldn't fix the heart. In the season 20 premiere of Sister Wives, the conversation is raw. Kody and Robyn sit across from each other, discussing what comes next. Robyn asks about the past, about plural, about them. Kody says quietly, "A polygamist is getting more than he wants, and a monogamist isn't getting enough." Robyn replies, "There's a fear that you don't know what to expect as far as monogamy is concerned." He nods. She holds back tears. The man who had many now must learn to be one. He later tells Robyn that days when he considered walking away from their marriage too were born not from her actions, but from his own brokenness. Robyn, meanwhile, carries her own emotional baggage, heartbreak from the collapse of the family she believed in, and a silent fear of the monogamous landscape she never signed up for. And the children, grown and adult, are drifting. Kody admits, "Most of the relationships between me and my adult children are strained." Daddy's little girl is still waiting for him to show up. As the camera lingers on Kody and Robyn walking away from their Flagstaff, Arizona home, a place marked by the collapse of 3 marriages, the symbolism is chilling. "This is where my heart broke," he said. "They put the house up for sale. They attempt a fresh start, but the emotional freight remains." And then comes the twist. Kody reveals he didn't fully choose the monogamous life. The plural lifestyle collapsed around him. He and Robyn were left with each other by default. That's the moment we asked. This isn't a conscious new start. It's an accident of history. The twist you didn't expect. The ending wasn't planned. It just happened. Here it comes. The culmination of years of plural marriage, emotional upheaval, public spectacle, private trauma, and now this. Kody Brown, once the patriarch of a plural empire, totters on the edge of an identity he no longer recognizes. And Robyn Brown, once part of many, is now the last one left, carrying the expectations of a monogamous life she never asked for, and a husband broken by his past. In a final confrontation, she voices, "I'm having a hard time not losing respect for you a little bit." He apologizes for the dark space I went through and how it harmed you. The cameras stop. The audience shifts. This isn't just reality TV. This is the emotional aftermath of living out a model that couldn't last and now trying to survive what's left. The real question now, can they survive this version of their marriage? So where do they stand now? Kody and Robyn have committed to monogamy, but not because of a flourishing new vision of love, because the alternatives collapsed, because the structure he built no longer exists. From a psychological perspective, Kody confronts the legacy of plural marriage. The diffusion of attention, divided homes, shifting allegiances. His emotional trauma isn't a byproduct, it's a consequence. The departure of 3 wives signaled a loss of identity. Robyn now lives in the shadow of that loss. The surprise monogamy puts pressure on her to be everything she never signed up to be. For women watching this from across America, what you see here is a cautionary tale. When you commit to love, what are you really committing to? If your partner's identity is built on many, what happens when they become one? Fan reaction echoes these questions. Robyn listens to all the word salad, he is so weak and off balance. Reddit user on Sister Wives. Others ask, if the model was plural, how can monogamy just work now? The twist leaves us uncertain, but it also leaves us hopeful, because acknowledgement came, apology came, change is possible. Before the silence of a monogamous home, there were 4 voices, 4 promises, 4 different dreams. Christine the first to break free. After decades of holding her place in the family hierarchy, she chose independence over invisibility. In 2021, she said, "I can't do marriage with Kody anymore." Her leaving wasn't rebellion, it was survival. Then Janelle, steady, logical, the peacemaker. She endured years of quiet frustration. When she finally walked, she carried none of the drama, only exhaustion. And Meri, the first wife, once the legal cornerstone of it all, her marriage dissolved not with anger, but with distance. One by one they stepped out, but each departure tore away a part of him. Each wife represented a layer of Kody's identity, faith, family, legacy, and when they left, he didn't just lose relationships, he lost reflection. She remained, but in the empty echoes of 3 missing voices, love now sounded like a confession. For decades, Kody's vision of family came from faith, a belief that plural marriage was divine architecture. But when that structure fell, so did his spiritual certainty. Kody, I used to feel close to God through my family. Now, I don't know how to feel close at all. Experts call this faith dissonance. It's the emotional collapse that happens when your spiritual identity no longer fits your lived reality. Robyn, too, felt that fracture. In one quiet moment, she confessed, I wanted to live plural marriage because I believed it was holy. Now I'm afraid of it. When faith breaks, what keeps love alive? For them, prayer turned into therapy. Conversations about covenant turned into questions about worth. The man who once led a faith community now wrestles with guilt, shame, and an invisible God. But this story isn't just about husbands and wives. It's about the children, the silent witnesses to decades of unraveling. Gabe Brown once revealed his father forgot his birthday during the pandemic. Garrison said their bond might be gone for good. Kody later admitted, most of my adult kids don't trust me right now. I feel like a stranger to them. For viewers, those confessions hit hard. On Reddit, one user wrote, his kids don't need another wife, they need their dad back. Can a father rebuild connection after the cameras stop? Family therapists say estrangement after public divorce magnifies emotional scars. And every headline becomes a reminder, every episode a replay of pain. For Robyn, it's double grief watching the man she loves drift away from his children while trying to hold him together. Outside the Brown household, the audience became its own character. 12 million voices, all with opinions. Some viewers wept with empathy. He's human. He's grieving a life that collapsed in front of the world. Others were furious. He built this chaos himself. Don't call it trauma, call it consequences. On Facebook fan pages, the divide was sharp. Team Robyn defended her loyalty. Team Christine celebrated her freedom. And Team Nobody simply wanted healing. America watched not just a marriage, but a mirror of its own relationships. From podcasts to reaction channels, the story became a cultural debate. Can plural marriage ever survive modern expectations? And more importantly, can emotional honesty survive fame? As the sun sinks over Flagstaff, one home now stands silent. The laughter of 18 children has faded to echoes. Inside, 2 people not sure if they're rebuilding love or simply surviving it. Some Tims,